Very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. Let's first start off by taking a look at the stories that made it to your headlines this afternoon. Anurakumar Dissanayake urges to expose the political influence behind the drug trade. $325 fatalities reported owing to train accidents in 2016. Appeal made to the Yemeni government to free the Sri Lankans held hostage. Francois Fillon is to be the Conservative candidate in next year's French presidential election. Now, starting off with your lead story this afternoon, the Asia Hotel Tourism Investment Conference was held in Colombo yesterday under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The conference saw the participation of a number of investors in the hotel and tourism industry.
This year, we are anticipating 2.2 million tourists to arrive in Sri Lanka. Already 11 months have passed and we are very close to the target. By the year 2018-19, we hope to go up to a minimum of 3 million. With that, the country will earn a substantial amount of foreign exchange. We are very concerned about the quality of tourists who will come to Sri Lanka. In other words, high-end tourism is what we are expecting to be here in this country.
And what does the country need to really encourage visitors? Yes, of course it needs peace. When I was in Northern Ireland last summer and I met with the First Minister, they were talking about how peace drives tourism. But I also believe that tourism drives peace. It brings people together, it gets people to respect each other, it gets people to understand each other, and also it gets people within the country to really appreciate their heritage and their culture. An incredible culture and heritage that we've already heard and we know that you have here in Sri Lanka.
At the conference, President Maithripala Sirisena announced the years 2017, 2018 and 2019 as the years of tourism investment in Sri Lanka. The announcement was made with the intention of making plans to successfully face the challenges in the hotels and tourism industry by the year 2020. The expenditure heads of 3 more ministries are currently being debated in Parliament. Meanwhile, Chief Opposition Whip Anurakumar Dissanayake alleges that political intervention may have been involved in the recent seizure of the consignment of drugs, which was discovered at the Orugodawatta Customs Yard.
පසුගිය 24 වෙනි දින ඔරුගොඩවත්ත රේගු අංගනයේදී
A haul of 200 kilograms of cocaine, which is worth about 2 billion rupees, was discovered at the customs yard in Orugodawatta in the guise of sugar imported from Brazil. This discovery was made on the 24th of this month. Honorable Speaker, this is similar to 4 bags of flour. According to reports, this is the second largest haul of cocaine which was discovered in the country. It is difficult to believe that this sort of enterprise could exist without political backing. Even though we see drugs being nabbed, the one who is bringing them down never gets caught. This is the biggest issue. They have failed to bring any of the perpetrators before the law. Therefore, we would like to ask the Minister about the progress made in terms of the seizure of recent drugs as well as the drugs seized on previous occasions.
මීට පෙරේන ලද කුඩු තොගේ පිළිබඳවත් කරන ලද පරීක්ෂණයන්ගේ ප්‍රතිඵල කවරේද කියලා.
නායකතුමනි අනුරකුමාර දිසානායක මන්ත්‍රීතුමා අහන ප්‍රශ්නෙට මට මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ
Honorable Speaker, the question which was posed by MP Anurakumar Dissanayake is relevant to me as much as it's relevant to the Minister of Finance. But this is the situation. Our investigations have not revealed any political connections. However, our focus is on how to eradicate the transshipment and the use of the port as a hub, and also to eradicate the use of drugs in the country. This is not an easy task to take up, but necessary measures are taken with regard to this, and our institutions are being strengthened in order to tackle this menace.
ලේසි පහසු වැඩක් නෙවෙයි. නමුත් අපි පුළුවන් උපකාර ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ සංවිධාන ශක්තිමත් කරනවා මේ කටයුතු කරන්න. ඔබතුමාට තව විශේෂ
Now, in another one of your headline-making stories, the Railway Department says that over 325 individuals have been killed in train accidents during this year so far. The most recent train-related accident occurred in Wadua yesterday. 5 people were killed when the car they were travelling in collided with a train bound from Kaluthara to Colombo at the Molligoda railgate at about 3:30 last evening. 60-year-old Colvin Silva, 49-year-old Pial de Silva, 53-year-old Chandra Pemeral de Silva, 45-year-old C. Chandra Silva and 43-year-old Tuminda Yapa died in the accident. The post-mortem examination of the deceased are to be held today. Superintendent for Railway Safety Anura Premaratna said that the cause for many of the accidents was the carelessness of drivers. Premaratna said that in the future, if railway-related accidents take place due to carelessness, strict legal action will be taken against motorists who fail to comply with road rules. The Merchant Shipping Secretariat says that steps are being taken to free a group of Sri Lankans on board a ship which is currently in the custody of Yemeni rebels. Sri Lanka's ambassador to Oman, M.K. Padmanathan, has requested the government of Yemen to assist in the freeing of 26 sailors, including 9 Sri Lankans, from the clutches of Yemeni pirates. The sailors are aboard the Greek vessel Fair Apollon, which is currently anchored at the port of Hodeidah in Yemen. The sailors were taken hostage nearly 2 months ago. Director General of Merchant Shipping Ajit Seneviratne said that the Sri Lankan representatives of the company which owns the ship has been summoned and discussions held regarding the Sri Lankan hostages being freed. However, the Sri Lankan representative for the International Transport Workers Federation, Ranjan Pereira, said that the Sri Lankan government is not doing enough to free the sailors. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan sailors trapped aboard the ship in a phone call to Newsfirst said that they have been held captive by Yemeni pirates for a period of 2 months and are facing a number of issues, including the lack of food and water.
The mentioned vessel now, Apollon, presently at Yemen, Hyundai anchorage. There are about 9 Sri Lankan seafarers on board at the moment. We haven't received nearly 5 months wages also. I have already informed the Oman, our consul office also. I have given the numbers, the phone numbers of the seafarers. The day we have some discussion regarding this matter. And actually, this vessel is have some problem because local, that is Yemen local agents, and they are asking some money from the company, some money. That is why that company is reluctant to give that money to the Yemen local agent, Akukara company, and that is why they are not releasing the service.
The Sri Lankan ambassador for Oman, M.K. Padmanathan, said that Yemeni government has forwarded a request that the Sri Lankan detainees be released.
With regard to the query on the 9 Sri Lankans, there are altogether 26 crew members. So what is happening now, there is a court case against the ship in Al-Hudaydah in Yemen. So this is a commercial dispute basically. So there was a court hearing on the 23rd of this month. Now they have refixed the hearing for on 7th December. So we are waiting and we are pressurizing the company in Dubai which owns the ship to make a strong representation to get the crew released if they want to still retain the ship. So that is number one. At the same time, we have requested the company in Dubai, which owns the ship, to provide all the essentials, the food, water, and the fuel for the maintenance of the ship and the welfare of the crew.
The 469th police station of Sri Lanka was declared open in Urubukka yesterday. The opening ceremony saw the participation of many dignitaries, including the Minister of Law and Order and Southern Development Sagala Ratnayaka and IGP Pujit Jayasundara. When the population increases and when there is economic progress, corruption and minor disputes between people will also increase. That is when we decide to establish police stations. This is one of our steps as part of our initiative under the Independent Commission to establish police stations, and this is the 432nd police station that is established out of the 600 which we plan on establishing. Meanwhile, these were the views that were expressed by parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa during a conference organised by the National Freedom Front in Hangwella, Sitawaka. There is Arjun Mahendran, Arjun Aloysius, and then Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. There is no problem. They foresee a profit for a span of 30 years. They will receive 10 billion rupees for 1.5 months for close to 30 years. The people of the country learned the meaning of bonds thanks to this government. We had many governments come and go in history, and there have been allegations that some governments swindled money. But no government was able to swindle money from a bond issuance. One of those individuals alleged that I threw a massive wedding ceremony for my sister with state money after treating the media for a good meal. I will retire from politics tomorrow if this is proven true.